So if you want to make more money trying to build your business, especially when it comes to the solopreneur business, I would recommend you is to stop producing a lot of content and focus on producing less content, but more focused on your ICP, which is your ideal customer. In this case, it's going to help you improve more of your messaging. It's going to help you improve more of your following. And on top of that, it's going to help you close those leads into a sale. And the reason I say that is mainly because you're not producing volume content, but you're focusing on the one single topic that brings in the sale, and you're doubling down on that single topic in different angles. The reason I say that as well is because a lot of people reach out to me, they send me emails, and they ask me how can they monetize their list, their existing list, in order for them to have the capital to reinvest, in order for them to be able to produce the content, to buy other traffic sources, or to be able to monetize their audience into a high ticket. Okay, so they have probably a low ticket, probably a high ticket, and they want to use both. The idea would be for you to focus on the one target audience that you can monetize the fastest. Now, if you're doing a lot of content, and again, a lot of my peers teach for you to be, acting as if you're a machine gun trying to produce a lot of different angles at the same time, it's going to be a hassle, it's going to be a burden. And I'm telling you that from experience and telling you that from seeing other people doing it. And I'm telling you that from other people I've seen feeling burned out because they're producing a lot and they're getting a lot of views, but they're not monetizing it. So they're not achieving an income out of it. And that will cost you a lot. And the reason I say that is because you have to produce, you have to edit, you have to hire people, you have to pay them for their time, etc. And in the end, you're gonna see it's not worth it. So for you to not be in that position, I would recommend you do not focus on awareness campaigns, producing content to entertain people, to capture people's attention, to try to dance in front of them, to try to make I don't know, like try things spontaneous in order to amuse them. If you're trying to do that, you're wasting your time because indeed you're entertaining them. Indeed, you might get a lot of views. Indeed, you might also be, I don't know, like getting engagement, whatever. But those people are not seeking a solution for their problem when it comes to their business. Most of those people are just consuming it to be entertained. So they're watching your video, and after they watch your video, they scroll to something else. Why? Because they're just solving their boredom problem. Okay, so they're bored, they want to get entertained, just start looking at things to be entertained, right? And that is the common sense behind of it, that like the psychological part of it. So if you want to be able to leverage your social media in order for you to make money out of it, you have to provide content that focuses on an ICP, someone that's already searching for a specific solution to a specific problem. Okay, now, especially if it's something business related, it's going to be ideal. If it's something product related, service related as well, it's going to be more ideal. If you are just randomly creating content because you want to vlog, you want to, promote yourself, you want to become famous, you want to become an influencer, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine, go ahead and do it, but it's not going to become a business afterwards, right? It's only become a business afterward when you focus on the target audience, when you have a product, when you have a service, and that product or service solves a specific problem that the person has, and the person is actively seeking a solution for, okay? So I'm telling you that because I'm mainly a thinking from an operator perspective and an operator mindset. So this means if you are trying to build something and you want to focus on one platform, one audience with one system, ideally as an operator, it's going to help you not only monetize things faster, but also going to focus on less things possible. Okay, and the less you have to focus on, the better, because the more you can tweak it, the more you can try to see how you can optimize it. Meanwhile, if you are trying to just produce content, becoming an influencer, created stuff, it's not going to be motivating. It's not going to be, things that will keep you moving forward, especially when it comes to making the money online. Okay, so ideal process would be to try to hone in on the ICP as if you were a sniper. If you were looking at a crowd of people, okay, and from that crowd of people, you're picking one person out that is interested into what you are trying to sell. So if you're selling something business related, it might be for social media management. It might be you're trying to teach them how to make an income line online, or it might be how you're trying to help them, grow their YouTube channel, whatever. then you have to think about, okay, if my product or service solve that specific problem, then how can I articulate that within your content? So if your content is talking about cars, travel, etc., you have to tie it in. Tie it in at how you are benefiting from what you are doing. Okay. Now within that, a lot of people come to me and they ask me through the emails like how I'm able to do that by simply recording a one take video with no editing, etc. The reason is I try to focus and reiterate multiple times on the same topic. Okay, so the topic would be, like in this case, how you can turn a system of where you are receiving people within your subscription, and within that subscription, you're ascending them to a higher paid product or service. And then based on that feedback, I take that feedback and turn it into a video. Okay, because again, a lot of people struggle with it. So therefore, when I turn it into a video, it becomes more simpler to understand. I walk people through the process, and then I explain to them in an email format how I'm able to solve their problems. And they have a choice. They can read the email and then decide to work with me, or they can just read the email and then decide to buy one of the offers I have. If it's a affiliate offer, if it's a third party offer I'm promoting, etc. Because even sometimes other creators come to me and they want to promote their newsletter, and I share their lead magnet into my emails, and this makes it easier for them to acquire a subscriber. But this means when they acquire a subscriber, I also get paid for that. So in one way or another, I am monetizing my email list, my email newsletter. And this is a way you can do it without you having to show your face. So even if you're doing a faceless business or you are the main person, like a personal brand, in this case myself, I am a personal brand, it doesn't matter. What matters is you have a system in place where you capture those people's information, okay? Because they saw your information online, maybe in this case a video on YouTube or something else, and then from there, they see what you have to solve for them. They see your expertise. They can read about your skill, or they can come to understand your insight about that matter. And from there, you recommend them something, whatever it is. If it's a lead magnet, a low ticket offer, a high ticket offer, a call, or something else. And then from there, they simply decide if they want to buy or not. It's very simple. The only thing you have to do is do it repetitively. And because it's a system, you only have to focus on the front end, which in this case, the front end is generating the lead. And where do you generate the lead from? Either you run an advertising campaign, whatever you want to do, if it's a video, if it's a carousel, or if it's an image post, etc. Or you can simply produce these videos to focus on the ICP, people that are looking for that specific solution, and then you recommend them to sign up for your newsletter. As simple as that. And that is the system that I'm talking about for you to be able to implement, because it's going to help you not only leverage your time and expertise, but it's going to give you, again, the location freedom, the income freedom, etc. The thing that I reiterate every single time. If you don't have a system, you're going to have to do it manually. And if you have to do it manually, having a 9 to 5, working somewhere else, etc., you're not going to have the time to do it. And it will become eventually a burden for you. So the question I always ask people, okay, if they have asked themselves, or the question you want to ask when you see YouTube videos, when you see other people promoting their stuff, is how will the singular focus of having one system, one setup, benefit you the most? Ask yourself that question. If you had one system to focus on, only to optimize, only to tweak and improve, how will that benefit you versus having to do a bunch of other stuff? How would that be? Think on the sniper illustration, okay? Second, what belief are you trying to change or attract when it comes to the individuals you want to work with, your ICP, okay? If you don't have that in mind, I would recommend you go through your list, do a survey, do a poll, try to understand who those people are, what industry they're working on, they're working at, what do they like, what do they don't like, and slowly but surely you're gonna come to understand. In my case itself, I run like multiple polls, not in one email, but in various emails, so that I can get various data on the audience that I'm getting, so that I can come to understand them better, what their hobbies are, what their work are, how many they make per year, etc. And based on that, I'm able to articulate exactly what it is that I want to convey to them. And then from there, help them understand how they can make a decision, a wiser decision, so that they don't shoot themselves in the foot, either financially or becoming a burden or getting more stress, etc. Okay? And then from there, I come to understand based on the feedback I get on the polls and the service I do, like what state or status people are in when it comes to their business. Some people are just starting out, some people are scaling, they need staff members, etc. Others are just starting out with their business, and others are building currently their business to a certain point that they want. So then you have to think about it in a sense of what is it that you're conveying to your list in order for you to get that data. If it's something about a poll, survey, etc., it's going to be much more easier. And you can tell them throughout that email a story, a relatable lesson that you learned, all those things. And that's going to help you not only focus on sniping the ICP, meaning your ideal customer clients, or it's going to also help you understand if you're just entertaining them. Because if you're just opening their email and just reading it, makes no point. But if they're opening the email, reading it, clicking on the CTA, going and check your product, some of them are purchasing your product, then you have a proven repetitive process of which you can turn to a system and then easily scale. And then the only thing you have to focus on is improving that specific system. All right, so if you want to learn more, I left you the link in the description of which you can check out the post that I talked a bit more in depth about this. And if in case you want to join me as well, you all find the link to do that. All right, I'll see you in the next video.